Hey, what's up, gang? Welcome to another RTI, Art at Home. Today's RTI is number 8. Today, we are doing video game theme characters, popular video game characters, okay? So what we're going to need is, we're going to need a drawing pad. We're going to need our drawing pencils, of course, eraser. We are going to be, well, at least I am, going to be using my pens today. And I'm going to show you guys how to draw the figures using the pencil and the eraser. But I'm going to do the inking after I'm done with my picture. So what I'm going to do is, after I'm teaching you guys how to draw the picture, I'm just going to speed through it and show you the outlining. And then I figured I could even color it so you guys can see what it would look like with me going through the whole process, but not having to suffer the entire process. Watching me do each individual color and line. Okay, so let's get started. First character is going to be quite easy. A very simple video game character. Let me find my appropriate pencil. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw a nice large circle. And remember, if you need to slow it down, if I'm moving too fast, always use the pause or rewind feature on top of the YouTube app. Okay, a nice big odd looking circle. I mean, it looks more like an egg, but more of a circular egg. Okay, so get that done, and then we're gonna go ahead and add a finger coming out the top of the egg. So we're just gonna put a semi-oval. And this semi-oval is going to be going diagonal to the upper left. And behind that, we're going to put another finger. So we have these two fingers coming out. We are going to use our eraser to erase the lines that's going through the fingers, so they are connected to the large egg-like circle. Okay. Coming off of the back of our funny looking egg shape, we are going to put some triangles. So there's one triangle coming off the back. There's another triangle. More trapezoidal, I guess, because there's no tip. Because the tip, like I told you guys before, when we're drawing and we slowly get better, we don't actually need to draw the entire shape, so that you guys don't have to worry about erasing too much. So it's assumed that since we started off with our RTI, I was drawing the entire shapes, and now we're going to start pulling back and not actually having to put the triangle going through the shape, overlapping the shape, because it's just more work for us to do, right? So I'm just going to show you guys now the steps. So here's our 3 triangles, and they are on the left side, the lower left side of our circle. And then right in the center of our circle here, we're going to put 2 ovals, and they're going to be side by side. Looks like the number 8 is lying down in the middle of the circle. Okay, and below the 2 circles, right between the pit of the 8 here, we're going to put a triangle. And it's going to only reach to the corner of our egg shape. Like that. And then right below it, we're going to put another triangle. That's going to go to the bottom of the egg shape. So it's going to be diagonal down to the right. And then right below that, we're going to put another line that's going to go around this triangle. So we're going to kind of box this triangle in with another type of triangle. And that's going to be the character's lower mouth. Like that. And then we have this big V that extends from underneath this first finger that we drew all the way to the end of the face here. So we're going to come down here using this as a guide for proportions. We're going to come down and start our V, cross over the eyeball. Like that. And then it's going to come up and go to the end of the face on that side. See that? And then we're going to do it again higher. Come down then I'm going to come back up. Then we're going to close off these two lines because these are the eyebrows. And right at the bottom of the eyebrows, inside the eyes, we're going to put circles. Okay, so from the corner of the beak here, we're just going to draw in a line coming down, just like that, because that represents the tummy, the lighter tummy part. And we are pretty much done. This is the entire character. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go quickly ink it and color it, and this part will be done in fast forward, quick motion, or I guess 10 times faster than I would normally do it. But you guys can use the timestamps at the beginning to move ahead if you needed to, but stick around if you want to watch this part. Okay, so let's continue on to the second character. Make sure I have the right pencil. Okay, let's start at the top of the paper by putting a trapezoid. It's going to be facing to the right. In the middle of the trapezoid, at the top middle of the trapezoid, we're going to put an oval. And inside that oval, we're going to put a small dot. Coming from the corner, upper right hand corner of my trapezoid down to the bottom middle, we're going to put two lines side by side, just like that. And then we're going to make the line come up to the back of the trapezoid, two more lines just like that. In front of the trapezoid here, on the bottom right, we are going to put a circle right on the edge, right on the tip, with a smaller circle inside. And sticking out from this circle, we're going to have another trapezoid. Just like that. Okay, so now on the top of the trapezoid, we're going to put a diagonal line going up to the right. We're going to put another diagonal line going up to the right. Right above the circle, we're going to put another diagonal line. And then on the top of the trapezoid, we're going to put another diagonal line, all going to the upper right. And as you notice, the line here isn't very long. Okay, now we're going to connect all three of those lines that we just drew, one to the next. And on the front of this shape here, now we have a rhombus. We're going to put 2 rectangles. It's going to kind of look like a pause symbol that you normally see on videos. Okay, next to the trapezoid, we're going to put a parallelogram. On top of the parallelogram, we're going to put a couple of smaller parallelograms. Look almost like rhombuses. And then the line behind the rhombuses is to come back to the first trapezoid we drew. On the very top of our trapezoid here, we're going to draw another parallelogram, skinny long one. And then right next to the parallelogram, we're going to draw another line coming up, connecting to the top. And we're going to do the same thing next to that, creating another shape. This one's more triangular. And then we're going to come with another trapezoid, skinny trapezoid coming down like that. Alright, coming down, so we have the head is complete. Coming down, we're going to have another trapezoid. This one's only going to go from slightly skinny to a little bit wider. This is going to be the neck. The neck is going to have another, this is the side of the neck here. We're going to do the front of the neck next. So it's going to have another trapezoid coming out from the bottom of the head. So that's the neck. And the neck is going to be connected to this big three-dimensional box. You know, my neck looks a little long, so I'm just going to go ahead and erase a little bit of the neck and trim it down slightly. Anyway, so at the bottom of the neck, we're going to have a box. And the box is going to be about the same size as the neck. So we're going to continue with this shape here by coming down slightly, putting a diagonal line. So this is another parallelogram in the front. This is going to be the front of the chest. And then the part that goes back is going to be another parallelogram built off of this parallelogram. We're going to put another one here. And then the top of it is going to cross over and come back. So this is making a three-dimensional shape. Sticking out from the bottom of our rectangular prism here, we're going to put a couple of cylinders. And basically cylinders look like pipes. So you do two straight lines like you're going to make a rectangle, but instead of making a straight line across the bottom for the feet, you're going to just round it on the bottom. And that's going to make it look like it has these little tubes sticking out for feet. Okay, we have two more tubes coming out through the back. These are the back legs, and they're not going to be drawn as low as the two tubes here, because this is, we're assuming that it's in the back of the animal, so it's going to be back here. Okay, and then finally the last tube to come out is going to be just like that. We're almost done. Okay, there's a big strange looking rectangle on the back. It almost looks like a saddle. And it has this little semicircle on the bottom of that shape. And right below the semicircle we have a floating circle. And then we have another semicircle inside. And then from this circle, we have another semicircle connecting. And this is supposed to be like a lock. On the top of our strange rectangle up here, we have a couple of rounded lines. 4 to be total. 4 total rounded lines. Let me just erase that going through there. And then we're going to connect them diagonally. This is supposed to be like a hinge. And then we have a parallelogram that connects the hinge. And then from here we draw a line down going into the body, the rectangular prism, and a line diagonal going into the prism, and it comes up and over this line. And then we erase the line that's going through it. And then there's a line going across the back of the creature, and a small parallelogram going over to the side, because this shape here is repeated on that side, so it looks kind of like saddlebags on either side. Now inside the middle of this rectangular shape here is an arrow, and the arrow is built with a triangle and a rectangle on the bottom. That's how you build an arrow. Coming off of the back of the creature, we have these streamers, so just draw those French fry like shapes like what we did in our pirate video from last week. Oh, and by the way, I want to apologize for that pirate video. I didn't realize that my internet connection was out, or it was running slowly. So when I had actually put my pirate video up last week, my RTI from last week up, it didn't upload all the way. So I'm thinking, while I'm filming my next videos and ready to put those up, I'm thinking that video is up and people are watching it, but in actuality it didn't post at all. It was stuck in limbo. So I had to delete it and I had to re-upload it, and it took me 5 tries, and each try took about almost 2 hours before I figured out that it wasn't uploading, until I had to reset everything inside my house so the internet could run again. So that video is holds a special place in my heart. So if you get a chance, you can watch that pirate video if you haven't done so already, because I know this is probably more interesting. I know when I put those headers on the titles it says video game characters, you're probably going to want to do that before you do the title saying pirates. But yeah, anyway, this is basically the shape of our figure. It's mostly done, pretty much done. I'm just going to add a couple of details to the body, which are these little lines that cut across the base of the feet. And this is a piñata type creature, so it's supposed to be hanging so you can hit it. And these little streamers here are the tail. But what we have is a bunch of these little rectangles sticking up and off of the body. And these little hairy things are the little papers. When they make the piñatas, it kind of looks fuzzy. So these little papers are supposed to be hanging off the piñata. So I'm just going to draw a bunch of them, a bunch of these rectangular shapes coming off of the creature. It's supposed to be a llama. Strange looking llama. But yeah, these lines are repeated all the way down to the bottom of it. And you can make it like scales where they actually move every other and make it more interesting of a drawing anyway, if they weren't all lined up like boxes. So if you kind of like disperse them like every other, like scales. See, like here I have them kind of overlapping each other directly, and then as I came down to the bottom I started separating them so that they're every other. Like I said, more of an interesting look of of a drawing when you have them dispersed like that. You get the idea. So just gonna make a bunch of these little things sticking off the body, off of this loot llama. Just like that. And we're all done. So like I said before, I'm just gonna go ahead and film myself continuing with the picture, with the inking and the coloring, so you guys can see what that looks like. Alright, we were ready for our third and final video game character, and this is a very iconic one. So let's start. So we're gonna put ourselves a little jelly bean in the center of our paper. And it's going to be facing this direction. Alright, so the next step, what we're going to do is we are going to put a circle on the top of the jelly bean. Nice large circle. That's going to be the head. Let's erase the line that's going through there. We do have a slight curve going into the circle, because this is going to tell us where the person's shoulder is. And I just drew this curved line in the middle of my circle so I know what way my character is facing. Like that. Okay, So what we're going to do is, coming out of the top of the jelly bean, we have, I'm going to put a couple circles here to tell me where the shoulders are. And we have the arms sticking out from the shoulders. And then we have elbows. And from the elbows, the forearms are sticking up on the right and down on the left. Okay, we have our hips here and here. This hip is on the left side or of the character, or our right, so we can't see where the leg is coming down, but we can definitely draw a line having the femur or the thigh bone sticking down, going towards the left. We're going to put the knee, and it's going to kick back. This leg on the right side, our left, his right, is going to go up at an angle. So this is his thigh on his right, our left. And then they have a knee, and then the lower leg comes down. So here's our potato person with these little stick figures coming out to tell us how the arms and legs are going to be situated. Okay, and in order to make the arms and legs nice and thick, we have to draw lines on the outside. So what we can do is we can draw ovals that connect the shoulder to the elbow. Nice big ovals. And we can draw ovals connecting the wrist to the elbow. And that's going to go around our skeleton, yeah? So we're drawing the flesh. Okay. Wrist to elbow. Same thing for the hip to knee. We're going to draw a nice big oval going from the hip to the knee. And then from the knee to the ankle, we're going to draw another oval. So that's kind of starting to look like a baby. Alright, so the other leg, so from the hip to the knee, from the knee to the ankle, just like that. And then I'm going to erase all the lines from my skeleton. Easy enough. So now we have our, looks like a baby is walking, because the figure is nice and plump. Okay, I am going to erase the line that's cutting through the leg here, so that the leg can connect to the butt. Just like that. And then I'm going to have the lower leg cut through the upper leg, because that crease is in front. There is a bend at the elbow. The bicep area is going to go through the forearm. And this one, the forearm, is going to go through the bicep. Alright, so let's make the feet. The feet are nice big ovals. Ovular shapes. So that's one foot. We have another foot back here. Another oval. You take your eraser and erase the lines you don't like. Erase the lines that are going through your feet, because now our feet are overlapping our legs. Let's do the gloves. We have a crescent moon shape going around the wrist, and that's going to be the edge of the glove that most cartoons have. This character also has it. We're going to do that crescent moon going through the top of the wrist. So our wrist is actually going to be more like a nub or a num. I'm just joking, it's a nub. Alright. So here we have the gloves by the wrist, and here we have the shoes. Okay. Let's finish up the shoes really quick since they're going to be really easy. So let's put a rectangle below the heel area of the shoe on our left. And then we're going to go ahead and put another one following the contour of the shoe. We're going to put, so these are the base of the shoe. So we're just going to use a couple of rectangles there. Okay, this foot's going to be a lot different than this one here, because most of the foot we see here is the top, and we can barely see the bottom. All we can see is the side of the bottom, but this one is going to be much different. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a semicircle alongside the foot here, or a semi-oval, depending on how long you make it. And I'm going to go ahead and erase the shoe that's going through my semicircle. And then after that, we're going to put a nice big semi-oval coming out of the semicircle. It's going to sort of look like an exclamation point, like you have the line with a dot under it. So that's what I usually think of when I do feet, or underneath the shoes anyway. It's kind of like an exclamation point, but wider. Okay. So there we have the base of the shoe. And then we're just going to draw a line outlining the shapes that we just drew, because this part here is going to represent this side of the bottom of the shoe. Just like that. Alright, so we do have the pants slightly hanging over the shoe. So what I'm going to do up here on the top is I'm going to make a triangular shape. And then I'm going to go ahead and erase the line that's connecting the feet to the shoe. the leg to the shoe. And this tells me that the pants is hanging over some of the shoe in the front. We're going to draw a little curved line on the back of the shoe where the pants are to make it look like the pants is bumped around the shoe. Just like that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to have a bump on the back. And we're going to have a small triangle on the front. And it's basically going to give the illusion that, once again, the pants are going over the shoes. Just like that. Okay, so the hands are nice big circles. Pretty much on both sides. Just gonna make circles. And then we're going to go ahead and put some detail inside these circles so that we can make out the different fingers, yeah? So halfway through the circle on the inside towards the face, we're going to put a rounded line, which will represent the thumb. So the fist is closed, yeah? So we have the thumb here. And then coming from the middle of the glove here, we're going to have the line here that creases in the middle. We're just going to go ahead and draw that curved line there. Just like that. And then on the outside, we're going to draw these little lines that are separating our fingers. So we have the outside is one line, that's the pointer finger, so we isolate that with another line. Then we add another line, and that's for our middle finger. And then it's going to come down to the fist or to the palm, and then we're going to outline one more to make our pinky. Just like that. So now we have a clenched fist. Okay, same on the other side, except for instead of seeing the front of the hand, we're actually going to see the back, so there's less detail, which is great. Less detail is always easier for us as artists. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bump coming in to the fist. So we're going to have a line going in, and then this is the pointer finger, just like this one here. We're going to make that line come in, and then we're going to put a line over the thumb, and that's this creasy part here. So we have that creased line there. And on the back of the glove, we have these sesame seed like lines that tells us that's where the glove is, the stitching of the glove. And then I'm going to go ahead and erase a little bit of the circle to give it more definition on my hand, both sides. Alright, let's do the clothes, shall we? Alright, so coming off of the shoulder, we have a line that's going towards the stomach diagonally and cutting back under the underarm. Coming over the shoulder, we have another line, and that comes down by the neck into a small square-like shape, like that. And then this other line comes up and over the shoulder there on the other side. And at the base of both of these lines, since it's wearing suspenders, we need to put the buttons. One button's going to be a circle, and the other one's going to be more of an oval. Just like that. The straps that are coming down are going to have little triangular ends. Just like that. And that's pretty much it for the body. Body is finished. So let's move up to the head really fast. Alright, so we have a big nose, and that's coming from this middle line here. We're just going to put a nice big ovular shape. Erasing the lines that are going through the nose from the cheek. Like that. And then we have a line going across towards the bottom with a smiley shape under it, and that's the mouth. Inside the mouth we have another line to show the teeth, represent the teeth, like that. And then under the mouth we have a little bump for the chin, so I'm just going to draw a little upside down rainbow shape, or line I should say, underneath. Taking my eraser, I'm going to erase the part of the circle that's kind of making it hard for me to see that. So now I can see the chin much easier. Okay, underneath the mouth over here, we're just going to put a small line to show us or represent the lower lip, the sticking out part. Okay, so the eyes, we're going to make nice big ovals. We can see the eye, his right eye, the one on the left here. We can see that one easy because his nose isn't blocking it, but the other one, not so much. So we're going to put a partial oval because his nose is blocking all the information. And above his eyes we have crescent moons or bananas, or what else can we call it? Boomerangs, and those are his eyebrows. Okay, his eyes on the inside we're going to put ovals. We're going to put one for the iris. We're going to put one more for the pupil, which is the black part. And we're going to put one more circle on the inside of the pupil to give it a shine. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to put an oval for the iris and an oval for the pupil, which you can barely see past his big nose. Now, shooting off the side of his head, we have the letter C. And that letter C is supposed to tell us that's his ear. So I'm going to erase the headline that's going through the ear so that we can connect this letter C to the rest of the shape. To make the fancy design inside the ear, we're going to put another letter C smaller inside. And inside that we're going to put a small circle that connects to the upper part of the smaller C. Just like that. Alright, so let's put some hair. The hair is going to come down, the sideburns is going to come down on the side of the ear, and it's going to be a bump. And then you put another bump, and then that's going to go up. And on the back of the head, we're just going to put a little curved line to tell us that there's hair back there too. Alright, I'm going to start erasing the lines that are going through my face because I have my facial features placed on top of my face where I want them. So I'm just going to clean that up a little bit and place the shapes that I erased back. Alright, a little bit more hair. We have one more thing, and we have a line curved up under his eye, and then from here we're going to draw these little wavy lines under his nose and above his lip because we have a mustache, and the mustache goes all the way to the other side of the nose like that. And finally, all we need is the hat. Okay, so on the back of his ear, we're going to put a small bump. This is the back of his hat. Perhaps it's a little too big. Anyway, so we have a small bump for the back of his hat, and then we have a big bump that comes to the front by his eye. Nice big bump coming up to the front of his eye right here, this right eye. Comes back down and stops. And then we have another bump that comes up and around. So we have the bill of the hat, we have the top of the hat, and we have the back of the hat. Might have to adjust it. It's a little weird. Okay, so the hat is going to come from the corner of the ear right above the sideburns, and it's going to come up all the way to this third bump. So we have 1, 2, 3 bumps. So right from the corner of the ear, we're going to draw a line coming all the way up to that bump. So now we can erase the lines that we don't need to help our picture look a little better. So it's going to come up and over. Bill of the cap. I had to make mine smaller because it was a little bit too exaggerated. It's like this bump on the top, and it's a little too large, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Put his forehead back. This is the bottom of the bill. Bigaro. It's a little tricky, so you got to keep on erasing and putting it back so you have a nice size bill. Okay, and then on the top you're just going to make another curved line that comes back down to his sideburns like that. Don't forget to erase the bottom of the bill. Figaro. And finally, last little bit of detail, we have a circle on the front of the hat, and inside that circle we have a block letter M. Okay, it's all done. So that's it for today's RTI. That's our 3 popular video game characters. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the rest of the week's art at home. We will be continuing our drawings so that we can get better at drawing animals, and we have a special treat at the end of the week. Alright, and that's going to get us set up for next week's theme, but I'm not going to give that away just yet. So if you want to stick around and watch the rest of the video, you can watch me go ahead and ink it and color it in. If not, I'll see you next time.